Hi, Timothy Unkert here. In this video, we're going to go through a quiz review I have for some Algebra 1 students. So we're going to evaluate the function f of x equals 2x minus 5 at x equals 4. So everywhere there's an x, I'm going to substitute in 4. So I'm going to say f of 4 equals 2 times 4 minus 5. Okay, so 2 times 4 is 8. And 8 minus 5 is 3. All right, for the next one here, let's see, it says determine the domain of a function g of x equals 1 over the quantity x minus 5 and evaluate the function at x equals 7. So the domain, well, what can we put in for x values? So we can put in everything except when x equals 5, we have 5 minus 5, so we have a division by 0. We can't do that. So we could say just x not equal to 5. Another way to write that with interval notation is the set from negative infinity to, but not including 5. We're going to, and the union of that with not including 5 all the way up to a really large number, which we write like this. Okay, so we don't include anything here because we have parentheses. Obviously, infinity is more of a concept than a number, but you get a really large negative number, really large positive number, and you just can't include 5. Include anything but 5. Okay. Next one, what is the range of the function f of x equals x squared plus 5? Okay, so if we were to graph this, say via Desmos or something like that, whatever x value we put in, it's going to square it. So if it's negative, it's going to make it a negative times a negative is a positive. And if it's positive, a positive times a positive is a positive. So the lowest value that f of x can be is when x equals 0, and then you add 5. So if we were to graph this, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then let's do a different color here. We'd have our parabola something like this. So if you graph this on Desmos, you can see that the lowest y value is 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, should have been up 1. Let me fix that. Okay, so it should be actually here. Okay, the lowest y value would be 5. So the range, quick, easy way to write that is y is greater than or equal to 5. And if you want to do interval notation, you could do a square bracket with 5. That means it includes 5 up to a really large number. Okay. All right, next one. For the function f of x equals the square root of x minus 2, what is the minimum value of the domain and the minimum value of the range? Well, first off, let's figure out what the domain is. So the lowest value I can put in for x is 2, because 2 minus 2 is 0. So if I take the square root of 0, I still get 0. If I put something less than 2, like if I put in 1, 1 minus 2 is a negative 1, then we're taking the square root of negative 1, we're getting imaginary numbers. So the domain x has to be greater than or equal to 2. So the minimum value of the domain is 2. For the range, we got to think what y values come out of this. So again, the smallest value we can get is 0, because if I put in 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, we take the square root of 0. So y is going to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so the minimum value of the range is 0. All right, next one, the function g of t equals negative 16t, it should be t squared, plus 64t plus 3 represents the height in feet of a projectile t seconds after it was launched. What does g of 5 represent, and what is the initial height of the projectile at launch? So g of 5, it's actually going to be negative. You figured it out, but g of 5 represents the height. So it's the height 5 seconds after it was launched. Okay, what is the initial height of the projectile at launch? That's going to be this plus 3 here, because if t is 0, then we have negative 16 times 0 squared, which is 0, plus 64 times 0, which is also 0. So we're just left with 3 feet is the initial height at launch. Okay, next one. A company's cost function, C of n, equals 100n plus 300, where n is the number of units produced. What does C of 15 indicate, and what would be its value? So C of 15 indicates the cost of producing 15 units. Let's say C of 15 is, I should have a the in there, the cost of producing 15 units. What is its value? So we'll do C of 15 equals 100 times 15 plus 300. 100 times 15 is 1500 plus 300, which equals 1800. Okay, next one. A line goes through the points 2, 4, and 5, negative 6. What is the equation of the line in slope-intercept form? So, a couple different ways we can do this, but first let's find the slope. So I'm going to say x sub 1, y sub 1. This will be my first point, and then this one is my second, so x sub 2, y sub 2. So the slope is going to equal y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So y sub 2 is negative 6 plus, or not plus, sorry. We're going to subtract 4, y sub 1, over 5 minus 2. So we're going to get negative 10 thirds for our slope. Okay. Now, I could take this point. If I wanted to figure out the y-intercept, I could say 4 equals negative 10 thirds slope times my x value, which would be 2, plus b. So 4 is going to equal negative 20 thirds plus b. B is going to be, well, 12 thirds minus negative 20 thirds is, or well, added, we're going to add 20 thirds to both sides. So 12 thirds plus 20 thirds is going to be a positive 32 thirds. So we could write it as y equals negative 10 thirds x plus 32 thirds. Okay. Another way we could do this is put this in point slope form. So we could say y minus 4, take the first point, y minus y sub 1 equals negative 10 thirds x minus 2. And we get y minus 4, if we distribute, equals negative 10 thirds x. Multiply that, and then do this times negative 2, we get plus 20 thirds. Okay, then we add 12 thirds, which is 4, to both sides, and we get y equals negative 10 thirds. Let me write that better. Y equals negative 10 thirds x plus 32 thirds. So that's another way to arrive at that solution. Okay, the next one, last one here. A line goes through the points negative 3, 5, and 7, 10. What is the equation of the line in point slope form? So again, we can find slope. So I'm going to say this is x sub 1, y sub 1. This is x sub 2, y sub 2. We're going to say the slope m equals y sub 2, 10, minus y sub 1, 5, over x sub 2, 7, minus x sub 1, which would be negative 3. So that's going to be 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus a negative 3 is 10. So our slope is 5 over 10, which simplifies to 1/2. And then we can pick this point. We can say y minus y sub 1. So y minus 5 equals 1/2 x minus a negative 3. So x plus 3. And that's it. Let me get rid of that. Redraw that. That's it. That's the solution to this one. And that's it for the quiz review. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.